And that is all from the BBC News at 6. It's goodbye from me on BBC One. We join the BBC's news teams where you are. Goodbye.
It's just gone 6:30 and you're watching East Midlands Today. Tonight, jail for 2 women who conned a cancer charity out of thousands of pounds.
A court heard the pair abused their positions working at a local council for their own financial gain. Also tonight, dozens of homes raided and hundreds of thousands of pounds of drugs seized in a special police operation. Plus, he's battled long COVID to run the London Marathon. Brian will join 50,000 runners taking part this weekend.
And in the sport, the bikes are back. And it's one of our own leading the pack.
Hello, welcome to Friday's East Midlands Today with me, Sarah Teale. First tonight, 2 senior council officers who scammed a cancer charity and a local council out of more than £40,000 have been sent to prison. A court was told that Calvinda Garcher and Lynn Middleton abused their positions by creating a fake employee and pocketing the pay. A third woman was also given a suspended sentence for her role in the scam. Amy Payne reports.
2 council officers who conned their employer and a cancer charity out of thousands. Calvinda Garcher on the left and Lynn Middleton stole more than £40,000 in a complex and lengthy fraud operation.
They've taken the money away from local residents who pay money into their taxes, and also people who make donations to charities, which they make those donations hoping they're going to go towards people who've got cancer, to help them get better. I think it's awful.
Their first target was Holby and Wigston Borough Council in 2012, where 50-year-old Garcher was head of corporate resources and Middleton, aged 49, worked in human resources. At a time of restructuring, they used these senior positions to create a false employee. That was 50-year-old Sharon Reeve, Middleton's sister, who never worked for the authority but was paid more than £37,000 over 2 years. She gave it all to Middleton, who passed on around £7,000 to Garcher.
Since this occurred, we have new managers, including myself. We have internal audits, we have external audits. The checking process between payroll and HR has been separated, so the independent senior officers review the payroll every month to ensure that all payments are legitimate.
When the scam at the council ended in 2014 due to a new computer system, another began here at this charity, then called Coping with Cancer. Both Garcher and Middleton were board members and again installed Reeve as a ghost worker. For 7 weeks she was paid for work she didn't do and passed on earnings of more than £3,500 to Middleton.
We're only a small charity and all the services we provide cost money. Therefore, it's really deprived people who need that support from us being able to give it to them, which is very sad indeed.
At a trial last month here at Leicester Crown Court, Garcher from Leicester was found guilty of conspiracy to commit fraud and money laundering. Previously, Middleton from Croft admitted conspiracy to commit fraud, and both she and Reeve, who is from Glenfield, pleaded guilty to conspiracy to money launder. Today, Garcher was sentenced to 2 years and 6 months in prison, and Middleton to 1 year and 6 months. Reeve was jailed for 10 months, suspended for 18. Sentencing the trio here at Leicester Crown Court, the judge Ebrahim Moonsey said it is difficult to say who led and who followed in these fraudulent enterprises. He said the loss to the council is immeasurable in terms of trust, adding this is public money, valuable money, scarce money, which the council could have used for other services. The amount taken from the charity, he said, though smaller, is of huge importance to those in need. Leaving court, Reeve made no comment.
Would you like to apologise for your actions?
While she made no money from the fraud, her role was described as significant in a scam the judge called sophisticated and disgraceful. Amy Payne, BBC Midlands Today, Leicester.
Next tonight, the police have been carrying out a major operation aimed at suspected criminal gangs engaged in so-called county lines drug trafficking. That's when drugs are brought in from cities and sold in smaller towns and rural areas. Simon Ward has got the details.
Move away from the door!
Operation Impose has been a series of raids on suspected drug dealers who detectives say have been supplying drugs into Hinckley and the surrounding areas.
The last 2 weeks of enforcement activity follows months of investigation. We've executed 73 warrants, we've arrested 43 people, during which time we've recovered 6 kilograms of heroin with a street value of around 300,000. We've taken another £200,000 of cash off the street, and thus far we've charged 20 people now with supplying controlled drug or conspiracy to supply, and a further 15 people remain under investigation.
County lines drug dealers often forced children into working for them. That wasn't the case in these alleged crimes, but officers say this will have a big effect on reducing drug dealing.
The reality of taking 6 key lines of drug supply out from the Hinckley area, is significant. These were lines that were coming from Leicester itself and then further afield from Coventry and Birmingham, so significant impact. And the fact that we're taking 6 kilograms of heroin off the street is not an insignificant amount, plus other drugs as well.
The problem is that drug users will often look for other dealers following arrests. That's when the Turning Point charity steps in. They've been working with the police and offer support to users to get them off drugs.
Our staff over the last couple of weeks have been going door to door. They've had really positive impact with talking to people. We've had a number of people be referred into treatment, and it's an opportunity to make change. We're trying to reach people at these key moments so it can make a real difference. It is a huge challenge. Some people who are using drugs aren't quite ready to make that change, but we see things like this as a real opportunity. A lot of drugs have been taken off the streets of Hinckley, and it's an opportunity for people to make a change.
The police say they'll be using information from the public to stop other alleged drug dealers moving in and creating more county lines drug operations. Simon Ward, BBC East Midlands Today, Leicestershire.
Next tonight, furloughs over, and the government's also scrapping a £20 a week uplift in universal credit, which was paid during the pandemic. It's been a sensitive issue for them. Our political editor, Tony Rowe, has interviewed the Prime Minister at Downing Street today, and he went along armed with questions from a group of people facing the universal credit cut in this region. The first one was quite pointed. Why are you plunging us into further debt?
I understand people's feelings about this, but I do think this is the right way forward. The COVID package was there to cope with COVID, and it was huge. It was about £407 billion for everything from furlough to the uplift. You're now seeing the economy recovering strongly. We've got the fastest growth in the G7, and we're seeing wages recover strongly. So I don't know the particular circumstances of the group in Hina, but the...
Well, let me give you an example. There's a mum of 2 school children. Both parents work.
Yes.
She says, I'm gripped by the fear of losing that £20 a week. We still can't make ends meet. So how are we supposed to cover the cost of living rises?
OK, so for people who are in particular hardship, we're putting in a new fund, a £500 million fund, to help them. But that's on top, don't forget, of what we're doing with childcare, £1,000 a month of childcare, the warm homes allowance, which we've increased to £140 a week, what we've done with the local housing allowance. But what we also want to see is for people on low wages, we want to see an increase in their pay.
Right,
Talk about levelling up.
A single woman in her 40s in this group, she's lost her job during the pandemic, so she has no wage. She's got a mortgage to pay. She says, I've never felt so desperate. My question to the Prime Minister is simple. Do I heat my house or do I eat?
For people with particular hardship, we're setting up the fund that I've described, and we will look after it in that way. So, I've said what I said about
choice, would you
about the warm. I don't believe that choice will present itself in that way if the lady in question is able to access the funds that we're talking about, because the help that she needs, I do believe, is there. But what I want to see is the people of this country get the increase in their pay that they deserve. It's time to invest in people, invest in equipment, and we can do that now thanks to Rishi's super deduction for capital investment, and invest in the productivity, the long-term growth of this country.
Prime Minister, thank you.
Thank you.
Tony Rowe talking to the Prime Minister there. Next tonight, thieves have stolen a cash machine from Loughborough train station. It happened in the early hours of this morning. They dragged the machine along Nottingham Road after realising it wouldn't fit into a nearby Ford Transit van. Leicestershire police say it's likely there are discarded bits of the cash machine in the area. If you find any of that, you're being asked to get in touch with the police. It's the start of Black History Month today. The historic and cultural contribution of African and Caribbean communities will be celebrated with a series of events around the region, including workshops, courses, concerts and artistic performances. The event takes place every year in October and will feature a wide range of events in all three of our cities. Now, here's an amazing picture that's caught people's attention on social media. This is a plane landing at East Midlands Airport. It looks pretty scary, with flames coming out of the engine there. The image was captured by Tony Johnson from Nottingham, who was taking pictures when the German flight came into land. The airport says the 747 cargo plane is being inspected by engineers, but added it was a safe landing and no emergency procedures were needed. Thanks to Tony for letting us show that. Now, we don't need to mention what's been going on at the petrol pumps this week, do we? But if you're worried about being too reliant on your car, what alternative is there? All of our cities have been testing new modes of transport, and Geeta Penze's been to see how they're getting on with them.
Whether it's electric bikes, e-scooters or walking, all our councils are investing in alternative ways to get us around that are also better for the environment.
Here in Leicester, they have introduced an electric bike hire scheme, and the aim is to have 500 bikes that can be hired from 50 locations, which would make this the largest docked bike hire scheme in the UK.
Deputy City Mayor Adam Clark says there have been around 30,000 trips on the bike so far.
We've been really pleased with the take-up and use of the e-bike share scheme, but what we really want to see as the scheme rolls out further is to get more people using the bikes to get to work and to go about their business. I think as a commuter option during rush hour, this will be a really good choice for many people within the city.
The council is also trialling lamppost charging points for electric car drivers.
There is a real challenge if we're going to see a great increase in electric vehicles in the city over the coming years to find places for people to charge them, and one option is to look at our lampposts and take the electricity through our LED lampposts into the vehicles.
Over in Derby, the City Council is looking at new ways to spark a green transport revolution, including teaming up with Toyota.
There's something called Mobility as a Service, so we've got the app which is a world first, we believe, and it's about empowering people to make different choices about their mobility, the way that they travel, offering them alternatives, offering them information so they can make that transition from using, say, a car to other means of transport, whether that be public, whether that be walking, whether that be, hopefully in the future, mass transit, which is something we're working on as well.
Over the last year, Derby and Nottingham have been trialling e-scooters as an option for key workers and those commuting in and out of the city. And when it comes to public transport, Nottingham has been leading the way with lots of options, including 250 buses that are either electric or fuelled with biogas. So with all these options, I asked some people in Leicester what they think.
I completely rely on my car because I have a disability, and so a lot of public transport options aren't really very accessible to me.
Probably cost is a big thing for people.
If you go to, like, I don't know, Amsterdam, there's no cars in the road. It's literally just all bikes. So it clearly shows they've obviously got a certain model in place that works, and it can work here, but it's just not simply been implemented by the government.
Skateboarding is definitely the easiest, because, like, with a bike, if you want to cycle to Tesco's and there's not
Hello, welcome to Look Around. Half an hour of news and sport for Cumbria.
The queues
and
for
the south of
petrol
Scotland.
may soon subside, but with rising fuel prices and climate
Andy at
change,
ITV.com.
looking at
Thanks for your
alternative
company.
ways to
We'll see you
travel
tomorrow.
has
Bye-bye.
never been more pressing.
Well, that's one of the subjects tackled this week by East Midlands Politics. You can join Geeta Penze at 8:30 on Sunday morning for that and the other big issues facing the region's decision makers. It's on earlier than usual because of the BBC's coverage of the London Marathon. It's time for sport now, and a very busy weekend ahead, including some of motorsport's finest battling it out at Donington. So let's join Colin, who's spent the day there.
Yes, the sports at Donington Park, and as you can see, the superbikes are back in town. Now, we'd always love being at Donington for superbikes, but more so this time around because one of our own, Taryn McKenzie, is ahead at the top of the championship with just this, the penultimate round and one more left. Not by much, but very real chance of winning the championship. So we're going to be talking to him later on in the sport. But before we do that, we do have to talk about what was a very, very difficult night for Leicester City in the Europa League. They were in Poland, they were beaten 1-0 by Legia Warsaw. Despite heaps of possession, the Foxes conceded on the half-hour mark and couldn't find an equaliser. Leicester are bottom their group after 2 games, and manager Brendan Rodgers was keen to pay tribute to the 800 Foxes fans who made the trip to Poland.
Disappointed for the supporters because they've travelled a long way, and to be here, and it'd been great to have given them a result. But we thank them for coming. Still a long way to go in the group, with many more opportunities, and the objective is to qualify, and we still get time to do
Thank you,
it.
Ross, for the weather.
Well, Leicester City
Amy's a
are
little
next
under the
in
weather,
action,
nothing to
trying to
worry about,
reignite
but we
their
are being very
season
strict
on
and safe
Sunday.
here
They
at
are
ITV with our
at
own
Crystal
COVID
Palace.
guidelines.
Other matches
She is
in the
checking
Championship,
emails, though.
both
Send them
Forest
in.
and
Andy
Derby
at
County looking for
ITV.com.
back-to-back wins
Thanks for your
for the
company.
first
We'll see
time
you
this
tomorrow.
season.
Bye-bye.
Forest are at Birmingham City. The Rams are at home to Swansea. In League 2, Mansfield Town are looking for their first win in 8 matches. They are home to Barrow. And in the National League, Notts County are at home to Woking. Now, meanwhile, we've actually got an A52 derby match to get our teeth into. It's Nottingham Forest women against Derby County women. It's going to be on Sunday afternoon, and it's going to smash attendance record for a Forest women's match at the City Ground. We're expecting more than 4,000 people to be there, and Charlie Slater has been looking ahead.
This club has so much history, and to sort of for us to add to
Royal
that is an
Northern
amazing
College
achievement.
of Music.
As soon as I came into Derby, it was spoken about. It was spoken about the rivalry between Forest and Derby.
This weekend, the Reds and the Rams will lock horns once more, but with a twist and with a record to break too, as Forest women will play a league game at the City Ground for the very first time.
It's exciting times for the club. Play here, especially in our league game. It's just incredible, really, and sort of the history that's behind this club and everything. It's just amazing, really, and I think we're all extremely excited.
They've only ever played there previously on friendly matches. This time, they're expecting to double their crowd record with as many as 5,000 fans.
It's great visibility and it's a great platform for the women's game, especially for the young girls coming through. They've got something to aspire to and to look up to obviously having these opportunities and playing in these types of places. So yeah, it's a great vocal point for the women's game and shows the direction that we're sort of going in now.
For myself, coming from Middlesbrough, there's a certain manager that used to manage this club and came from the same area, and that great man was a huge idol of mine and something that I'm just proud of, to be able to stand on the same sideline as him for one particular game.
So just finally, what's going to happen at the weekend then?
Derby are going to win.
We seek. I want to come out and play against Derby, and ultimately I want to smash them and thrash them, really.
Well, we'll look forward to that. There's actually loads going on this weekend. Leicester Tigers have a massive test in rugby's Premiership. They are at home to Saracens. Ice hockey's Nottingham Panthers are busy, home to Coventry tomorrow night, off to Manchester on Sunday. And it's good luck to Derbyshire boxer Sandy Ryan. She's in her second professional fight. It's in Italy and it is happening tonight. But for us, our eyes are on Donington Park. They are on what's going to happen in this garage and to this man, Taryn McKenzie, because he's leading the British Superbike Championship just by a little margin. You've timed this run right, haven't you? Just going to the top at the right time.
Yeah, that's it.
last round at Alton Park, where we're in the showdown now. Managed to take the lead in the last race, only by 2 points, so there's still a long way to go yet, but yeah, couldn't have timed it any better.
Yeah, showdown means extra points on offer, of course, but you're on your home circuit. This is a circuit you know so well. Is it advantage, Taryn, coming into this?
I'd like to think so. Donington's a track I've had a lot of success at in the past. It's only 2 minutes down the road. I love riding here, and a lot of friends, family and sponsors come along, so yeah, it's always a great event no matter what the weather, and yeah, looking forward to getting going.
We saw you just before the start of the season. You did the routine optimism thing. It'll all be great. You must actually be delighted with how it's gone.
Yeah, I'm over the moon. I kind of set goals during the year, and I feel like I've achieved a few of them. There's still the big goal to be ticked off yet, but yeah, up until now it's been an amazing season. It's been quite compact, quite intense, with it being back-to-back races most weekends, but with only 2 weekends left now, 6 races, it's all to play for, and yeah, I feel like I'm in a great position, in a great team, and on a great bike, so yeah, it's all a bit nerve-wracking but exciting at the same time.
The thing is, as we've seen in the past with Leon Haslam, anything can happen, and with it just being there, is there that extra bit of pressure?
At the moment, I don't think so. It's quite close between the top 3, but yeah, anything can happen, as it did to Leon a couple of years ago, going into the last round with a strong points advantage, and then it all just fell apart. So if I leave here with a bit of a points advantage, then I'm in a good position going into Brands, and yeah, it's all to play for, so it's exciting, and yeah, I just can't wait to get going.
We'll watch what happens. Thank you very much indeed for talking to us. You can catch up with exactly how Taryn has done on East Midlands today on Monday evening.
Well, another big event taking place this weekend is the London Marathon. 50,000 runners will race on the traditional course in the capital. Another 50,000 will be completing the 26.2 miles anywhere they choose. Well, one of those taking part is Brian Hucknall from Wilford in Nottingham. Not only has he never run a marathon before, but he's also still recovering from long COVID after catching the virus last March. Well, I'm delighted to say we can speak to Brian now. Thanks for joining us. Looking fabulous in your Superman outfit there. Are you running in that on Sunday?
Yes, this is what I'll be running in. It was Spider-Man for the Robin Hood half, and now it's Superman for the full marathon. Yes.
Very good. Now, as we said, you have long COVID after catching COVID last March. How are you feeling now, and how hard has training been?
Training's been hard. It's been tricky when you're trying to breathe and you can't breathe properly. The long runs take a few days to recover from the coughing and clearing your lungs, but you know, I'm doing it. So still got the kind of after effects of it, but I'm making a positive outcome out of it. Thank you.
And keeping you going, keeping you motivated is a really special cause. Tell us about that.
Yes, the special cause is for the Nottinghamshire Hospice. So my mum was very poorly with pancreatic cancer last year and died in December of last year. And for the last few weeks of her life, the Nottinghamshire Hospice helped her at home, cared for her, adding life to days. And it was absolutely brilliant because it meant that she could actually die at home, die where she wanted to, and you know, have a much better quality of death than if she was in hospital. So, you know, I want to raise some money for those, for the £3 million a year that they need to provide that care.
And that will clearly keep you going on Sunday, but you've never run a marathon before, so what are you expecting?
I'm expecting it to be hard. There's no running from, oh, that's a bad pun. There's no running from that. So it's going to be really hard work. It's going to be really tiring. I'm going to feel absolutely shattered by the end of it, but it's going to be brilliant. I've got some good music on to listen to. People are coming out to support me along the way. I've got a route sorted out, so it should be good fun.
Well, you'll certainly be easy to spot. Do you have any kind of time in mind?
Just finishing it would be a good start. I think, you know, I'm probably looking at around 5.5, 6 hours. Did the Robin Hood half in about 2.5 hours, which is pretty good to say. This time last year couldn't even run. So
no, it's an amazing achievement. Well, Brian, best of luck. We'll be rooting for you, and do let us know how you get on, won't you?
I shall do, Sarah. Thank you very much.
Oh, well, good luck to Brian, and good luck to everyone taking part in the marathon this weekend. Now, if you are running, we'd love to see your pictures. You can email them to us at emt@bbc.co.uk, and we'll show some of them on Monday's programme. Now, hopefully, there'll be good weather for the marathon. Anna, it's actually probably very good that it's on Sunday and not tomorrow, isn't it?
Definitely, Sarah. Tomorrow is looking very wet and windy. Sunday, we've still got the wind, but it should be mostly dry. Now, before we go into the weekend forecast, the forecast this week's been very much keeping us on our toes. But let's take a look back at September, as it is the 1st of October today. September is the first month in the meteorological autumn, and for us and for the whole of the UK, it's been the second warmest on record, with temperatures here in the East Midlands 2 to 2.5 degrees higher than what we'd usually expect in September. It's also been dry up until last week, when we have now started to see that rain bringing the totals up. Some much needed rain actually here in the East Midlands over the last few days. Today though, 1st of October, typical autumn photo here, golden leaves and beautiful conkers and glorious blue skies. It's been windy, but it's been a really lovely autumnal day out there. Thank you, as always, to our weather watchers for sending in their pictures. Keep them coming in. Perhaps maybe don't take the camera out tomorrow, though, because things are looking really quite unsettled on Saturday. Some heavy rain around and some strong winds, remaining windy on Sunday, but plenty of sunshine and just a few blustery showers. So Sunday's the day to get outside if you need to. Now, we've had low pressure in charge up to the north, but we have another developing low pressure feeding up from the south as we go into Saturday. With it, we're expecting persistent heavy rainfall through the afternoon and strengthening winds. So very unsettled as we get through into the weekend. However, apart from the wind out there at the moment, it's fairly calm. We've had lots of sunshine. Obviously, it's around sunset now, but we could see 1 or 2 showers feeding through over the next couple of hours. But for many of us, staying dry to end the day, clear skies to start the night. So unlike last night, it is going to be fairly chilly. Temperatures will drop away, lows of 7 degrees Celsius. But you'll notice the cloud already beginning to move in first thing tomorrow morning. So if you're up and about early, mostly dry, we'll then start to see some light and patchy rain, followed by the heavy rain by lunchtime, turning increasingly heavy and persistent for a time. Perhaps some poor driving conditions, and it's accompanied by strong winds of gusts around 30 miles per hour, potentially up to 35 in exposed areas. Temperatures a bit disappointing because of that cloud and rain, 13 degrees Celsius. The low pressure, though, will clear away to the northeast as we head into Sunday, but it does leave us with the strong winds. In fact, for us on Sunday, I'm expecting the winds to be gusting around 40 miles per hour, but mostly dry and just a few blustery showers expected on Sunday. Temperatures of 15 degrees. Not a bad day on Monday, still a chance of a few showers, but it looks like another low pressure is heading our way Monday night into Tuesday.
Hannah, thank you very much. Oh, it's a duvet day tomorrow, isn't it? That's all from us for now. Nicola and Anna are back with the late news. Thanks for watching us this week. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.